paganworldtv@gmail.com, or join us at pagan.world. We are looking for more hosts and co-hosts to share our space because we're generous that way. Throughout our career, we have been the voice of the pagan world, and I'm very excited to continue that policy. And talking about that policy, I have Reverend Don Lewis with me. Congratulations on your recent successful Kickstarter.
Thank you. It went very nicely. I'm very gratified.
Almost 700% over.
Yes.
So yes, and so is the omnibus and everything else. We'll talk more about that. So this is the Pagan Economic Club. In 2 weeks from today, we're going to be. Oh, is it only 2 weeks from today? Oh my gosh! 2 weeks from today, we're going to start. I'm going to start a new show called Witch Starter. For those who get the reference, it's going to be every Wednesday before the Daily Spell, and we're going to be talking about how to become a witch starter. And this is going to incorporate a lot of information. And people are going to be, I think we're going to see some energy that people may not used to on this Wednesday show. The same it is. This is the Pagan Economy Club.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just see if we're going to become Witch Starter, the show. But I think it's an important thing.
It is an important thing.
So we're going to talk about social media. I think primarily Facebook. But it's also true of Twitter. It's true of Instagram. It's true of a lot of meme-based sharing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about the power of amplification. And it works with podcasts. It works with YouTube. It works with a lot of things. But the power of amplification. And the power of amplification, well, Don's going to explain it in magical terms first. What is the power of amplification? And sort of the magical. You smiled at that. I always catch you with these weird questions.
Well, I like questions.
Yeah. These were not in the pre-show notes. This question was not in the pre-show. That's why I do that.
But the answer is actually quite simple. I mean, whenever you get multiple people together, they amplify each other's abilities. If they're psychics, their psychic ability will be stronger if there are a number of them together. If it's a ritual, if you bring a number of people together to focus their energy all at once, it's stronger than doing it on your own. And this really is the same thing, that when multiple people are working on a thing, it's going to do more. I mean, it's kind of...
is that why
it's elementary.
Isn't that what, like, psychics at a psychic fair actually hit better sometimes than if they're
Yes,
private?
it's true. It really is true.
I mean, I found myself when I was in Salem, other than the one I screwed up the message. Yes, folks, we've talked about that. But I did get it very through. I got very clear. People really appreciate it. And almost all the other readers were doing exceptionally well.
Yes.
And I know people go, well, you're all cold read. It's all an act. Well, even in that best situation, we're all called to our highest performances, and we made very satisfied customers.
Yes,
you thought I was
and you told me about the
vacation,
the missed prediction. Yeah, the how so many people were going to have an interruption to their lives. It seemed like everyone was going to go on vacation at once, and you didn't really see the. You got the message.
Got the message
but
clearly.
Who would have thought that it was going to be a global pandemic?
No.
We hadn't really had one for 100 years.
Well, I think also I don't like predicting death. I don't.
No.
I will, and it's a psychic fair. It's supposed to be everybody's supposed to have a Halloween good time.
Yeah.
So my mind frame wasn't in that.
Yeah.
But it kept.
But the message came.
Well, the message came, and
it came again and again, and you told me.
Oh yeah.
So I know it's true.
Oh.
But like you're saying, when you have a number of people there all doing psychic work, they will amplify each other's abilities.
Absolutely. And true of that sort of thing. Well, in social media, the same thing is true. Even more so. So to have success with a meme, you need a couple of things. You need something that is going to be interesting to the people. It could be smart, it could be dumb, it could be the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. It can also be one of the most acute, intelligent points that have ever been made. They've all gone and out there. Memes are compressed thought, and the memes have existed before the internet. It's the idea of compressed thought.
The Temple of Delphi was full of them.
Yeah. And these are images or whole thoughts can be reduced to a single image or a single statement or a single quote. That's why we
Mhm.
use quotes. That's why we love allegories and all of those types of language tricks, including quotes, you know. And the quotes survive even if I don't remember why they existed, to keep
Yes.
that compressed knowledge into our language. And all of our thoughts, all of our philosophies are built from all of these memes we concentrate together, all these formulas, all these memes, and all these ideas. And they get put together in our heads to form a chain of thoughts. And so, with that, so a good one is like I always tell people, you know, what do you think when I say Coca Cola? And how much of that's got into your mind? How much of that is shared in your mind? Do you think about you're just drinking the soda, or do you remember times you've drank it with other people? Do you wear a jacket for them? You know, people collect their stuff. How
Mhm.
much of that is? But what it's a meme for is Coca-Cola is trying to make its drink. All it stands for is a drink full of sugar and water and flavorings and carbonation, and it's tasty. But they want us to mean a lot more in our life. So they try to connect it both through taste and scent and
Mhm.
all their memes, all these structures of their advertising to make us think of Coke in a favorable way. Oh, I remember I just drank a Coke.
Santa
Well,
Claus and polar bears.
Santa Claus and polar bears. Okay, so that's a access of what we call something that has gone and brand build. And ultimately,
Mhm.
that's what you want to do is build your brand. You want to be known for something. You and yourself, Ed the Pagan is absolutely a brand. Reverend Don Lewis is absolutely a personality, which becomes a brand. And if you
Mhm.
don't like the word brand, there's another great word for it. It's called reputation.
Yes.
In other days, it would have been our reputation. So what we call brands is really reputation polished up because we're Americans.
Yes.
So the first thing you need is get attention and something that people want. And most importantly, amplified, meaning it's not just okay. We put out lots of material all day long
Yes, we
that
do.
but it's not often shared or it's not shared far. People we see a lot of thank yous, we see a lot of reactions, we see a lot of happy faces, but we don't see as many shares as we'd like.
Mhm.
So the first thing you have is something that goes viral. Not only is it so good and so interesting, you want to share it with your friends before anyone else does.
Yes.
And then you want to share it because of various reasons. Virtue signaling, you agree with it, you really want it to be happen. It's a moment in time. It's so ugly, it's hideous, it's evil, it's mean. It could be somebody getting married. And today's, I haven't picked one out, viral moment. Um, uh, Miley's, yeah, sorry for the
Mhm.
singer Miley, Hannah
Yeah.
Montana, has just put out a song on January 13th, or just a teaser of a song called Flowers.
Yes.
And it's everywhere. It's just trending and everything white because it was her husband. Nobody can
Mhm.
stop looking at this, just the teaser of the
Yeah.
album. She did this masterfully. This is what viral looks like. Not only are they
Mhm.
playing the piece she wanted, they're talking about how it copies Bruno Mars' song. Bruno Mars is looking around going, why am I being dragged into it? Huh?
She put
Uh,
the rhinestones in all the right places.
and Hemmingsworth. Yeah, we have a right, so we will repeat this story. And today it's gotten to be really viral. Something
Mhm.
happened January 3rd. To go for a couple of days,
Yeah.
and now everybody's talking about it.
Mhm.
There's lots of viral events. And they go out and they happen. They flash out. One of my favorite ones, and we'll talk about is Felicia Malay, Witches.
Yes.
And the reason why I like it because I picked it up when it was like 4,000 out there.
Mhm.
Because I'm tapped into a lot of places where there is a lot of expression.
Yes.
And I get a lot of things early. And I said this one was going viral, so I was able to watch it the whole time. And we started sharing it, and soon, because it was such a beautiful poem, and it was beautifully done, and it was well distributed from the node. I mean, the people who did it
Mhm.
had enough contacts, and what happened is everybody had to share it,
Yes.
and everybody wanted to hear their friends hear it because they wanted to talk about it. So something to be viral about is that you want people to talk to you with this. This isn't just like, oh, this is happening. Isn't this cool? It's like, I want to talk about this. This is like, isn't this poem cool? Can't we share this? And Witches was just that. And so she really built it out. We've seen lots and lots of things then fan out and come apart. We see it all the time. But what then she was able to do is take that, turn it into a world trip, and then she really kind of defined herself
Mm,
as being an advocate for something called spoken word.
yes.
And then she started teaching and empowering people and doing better with her classes and everything because she had a highly authentic and high quality viral moment. And instead of chasing the viral moment, trying to get another viral piece, she tried a little bit. Of course you do. You can't help it. She went on and built solid content that she continues today and has a much larger following. She got her big break
Yeah.
and she turned it into a good thing.
Yes.
Sometimes people can take a viral break and get away with it. And I'll talk a little bit about some of those. And other ones is just fan out. They never do it again. One hit
Mm,
wonders.
yeah.
So this the second type, and I think Felicia Malay actually did really well with the second type, are high quality performers,
Hmm.
and that they are also able to get the attentions of others who are able to help them. And what I mean is that people who are really do a good job. Young singers are a good example, and suddenly they're such good singers, they themselves suddenly are finding themselves filling stadiums.
Hmm.
Sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes decades because it's just a matter if they catch it. One of the big ones that have come out that I really like that started to really rock it, I've known them for a couple of years, is Baby Metal.
Okay. Good
And they're,
name.
oh yeah, and a lot of hardcore rockers love them. They are Japanese girls, little girls, well, not so little. They do hard rock.
Very
Mhm.
cool.
And they sing it in Japanese. Um,
I'll have
one
to
of
look them up.
Oh
That sounds
yeah.
very
So
interesting.
so one of the it was
The element of
interesting.
incongruity
Oh,
makes it
people
very interesting.
oh, and people just love them. I mean, some of the one of the heavy rockers, not Ted Nugent, Snyder or
Oh yes,
somebody.
D. Snyder.
He went on. He performed with them for some reason or with them. And says, I don't. And the people are making fun of him, and they're saying, hey, these girls rock harder than you guys do.
Yeah.
That he really enjoyed them, and, like because people are trying to make, of course, the women can't be as good as men in anything that men do.
Yeah.
But they were good, and I still like them. Um, and
Mm,
they worked really hard, and then they became viral for a moment, and now they're
mm,
back to their regular grind as performers because there's a machine behind them that took years and decades to build,
mm,
and you're dealing with and getting the help of the gatekeepers. There you go.
mm.
And the gatekeepers are the ones who have all of the tools, the people who own the stadiums, people who groom them, and the people who put them on the stage. All of them have a built-in machine they have to keep feeding. And so that's where quality and content and luck are very, very important. And we're seeing people who have breakout moments, such as Soldier Boy in its day. Justin Bieber is an entirely YouTube created being.
Mhm,
He didn't go there. The gatekeepers picked him up.
mhm.
And so now that is also meaning that people can go directly to the market itself. In
Yes.
our world, it was going through Llewellyn, Weiser, Inner Traditions, and maybe it's two or three of the larger outside who have it in print to get your books published.
Mhm.
And our music had to be mostly hand produced because nobody could thought we could sell the necessary minimum quantities to be
Yeah.
put out as a regular record.
Mhm. That's very true.
So we had to deal with gatekeepers, and
And
these
for
gate.
years and years, you could not find pagan music on anything but old-fashioned tapes. And then
So
they did come to CDs, but I mean, they were being basically made in the basement.
well, we even produced CDs down in the basements.
We did.
Your audio tapes.
We did, absolutely.
The equivalent of doing. It was a big gray elephant. It was in our little warehouse,
Yeah,
and we're making hundreds of them a day. I mean, no,
we
we did
were.
that too. We did that too.
Mhm.
And so that's really exciting that we did that. We have to
It
start.
is.
We should put those out again.
We
Well,
should.
we're working through all that. Well, why can we even say, oh, we should put that out again? is because the other thing that a viral moment can do, and if you're smart or have a big moment and you're smart, you can do what um, is a big energy. Is that like you can create a business out of it? One of the things we see is P Diddy and Jay Z, and the hip hop moments, and all sorts of different things.
Mhm.
And all sorts of different people have made business out of it. We see actors who now run clothing lines.
Yeah.
The internet has allowed them to do this.
There are YouTube bloggers with
Mhm.
cosmetic lines that are quite successful, only because they were blogging about makeup and became popular.
And then found partner.
Yeah.
And mostly has found a partner.
Mhm.
So the last kind you have are the grinders. We make
Yes,
a joke about this, but I feel
we
that
are the
we are
grinders.
grinders. The witch school Corellian system, we've been here since 1993 in so many ways. We were there when the World Wide Web began.
We were.
We got take our physical operation got taken apart a little bit by cyber people.
Yeah.
And by the end of the decade of the 90s, we were fully engaged in the internet.
Well, I mean, we learned the importance of the internet by having it used against us.
Hmm. And then the value of connection. And today we have
Mhm.
300,000, nearly
Yeah.
300,000 students. We've affected people all over the world. We have changed things. We're continuing to do so, including
And we keep on grinding.
including the daily spell. But
Yes.
what to do that, it means that you have to be consistently performing to a group. And we are big practitioners of Kevin Kelly's 1,000 true fans.
Yes.
Kevin Kelly makes it out if you have 1,000 true fans that will pay you basically $100 a year
Hmm.
or any mathematical formula that you need for that, you can survive with 1,000 true fans.
Hmm.
1,000 true fans paying $100 a year should make it possible for you to succeed. And that means you have to get amplification. And 1,000 true fans are people who will buy your products and talk about it and get other people to buy your products, to see your video, to
Hmm.
anything else. And now you can make money from the number of people who see your videos. But if you have 1,000 true fans, amplifying your message, sharing your message, the number one thing that Facebook algorithms pay attention to is how many times an item is shared. The more an item is shared, the more it's going to be in the algorithm higher and higher into
Hmm.
those people that you see. So the best thing you can do for your brand, so the best thing you can do for your website, the best thing you can do for your Facebook page, the best thing you can do all together, and it's the biggest struggle of them all, is to get people not only just to like you, we get a lot of likes, we get a lot of love, we get a lot of cares and hugs and all sorts of things.
Hmm.
But one of the things why we're grinders is we never really get a huge amount of shares. Now we've gotten them into the
We
thousands.
have got. I think the biggest thing that I ever did got about 3 million views.
And it's,
But
pa- and it's still passed around without your name on it.
yes, it is.
Why don't you tell them what it is? I mean, they've seen it.
If you've
Uh,
ever seen there's a certain meme that goes around, and it has like a Brady Box bunch of photos from different Wiccan events. One of which is me,
mhm.
and it's warning the viewer that their children might be into witchcraft if they love the earth, they try to do good things, and other things like that. But I'm sure most people have in fact seen it.
And it still continues to be passed around, continues to grow, still gets a lot of activity.
It does.
It's a perfect grinder meme because it's all the time. And you wrote it against a minister who basically hurt the feelings of one of the people in there, who
Hmm.
who basically you just copied him in some ways
It,
and
it
made
was
him better.
originally an anti-Wicca meme,
Hmm.
and one of the people, because they just took people's photos, and one of them came from someone's hand fasting, and she was absolutely appalled to be in this horrible thing. And so I changed it to make it into at least a positive answer.
Hmm.
And I think I think nobody really remembers the original negative one now.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It was driven right off because of a powerful meme. That's how powerful memes can be. It can. This one conflicted against
Mm,
one, and I bet you he was so like embarrassed and ashamed seeing that this other one came out against him
mm,
and caused so much confusion. But that's a grinder piece because it's repetitive and evergreen.
mm.
Okay, so getting into what you should be doing to measure your thing, you should be creating memes and take it for somebody who hasn't done it enough. Put your name on it.
Yes.
Really, seriously. You are making them do so early on, people thought there was a certain ownership to these
Mm,
and that people wouldn't copy them from other pages. They're wrong.
yes.
They were completely wrong.
Completely wrong.
We will steal a meme from somebody. We don't care. We feel like memes are stealable right away.
I've always assumed that sharing them was the whole point of doing them.
And some people didn't. They just wanted to share their art. They didn't want to share it.
Mm,
So don't create a meme you don't want to share, but put your name into it.
yeah.
So let me go ahead and offer the last thing that amplification does. So we've been playing an amplification game for a while.
Hmm.
We're across maybe, I think, 12 Facebook pages right this very minute.
Hmm.
We're on Roku,
Yeah.
live on television, your smart TV. Check it out, Roku, Pagan World TV. We're on Twitch.
Hmm.
I think that might be under my personal name, Ed the Pagan. Doing terribly there. And YouTube.
Yes.
And you can talk to us through our chat side on for this show.
Hmm.
And what we hope that people do, and we've seen it somewhat, is that when we come on, that we will share it with other people. We have more pages. We just haven't started doing that. We can share this out to more spaces.
Yes.
And this is true of every podcast, of everything. And,
Hmm.
and, and that's why it is. So, but in order for you to really expand your base, you have to get people to share it.
Hmm.
This is extremely important. And there's nothing wrong with getting into an amplification club, meaning I will push yours if you push mine.
Yes.
And some people just end in very quiet alliances where they share each other's all the time.
Mm.
And we
Yes.
have a lot of people like Corellian Hub is well shared.
Yes,
But
it is.
it's about the only Corellian piece though that's well shared.
Mm.
A lot of the other ones seem to be tighter and more things, so they're not as shared. Some of the temples are shared, some of them are not.
Mm.
Yeah, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And so right now we're into, but for us to expand into the world, I don't care if you're doing a Kickstarter campaign. The only reason we were successful with the Kickstarter campaign is because we knew we were able to reach 42 people
Hmm.
who could afford the product
Yes.
in a basically 23-day pace.
Hmm.
Basically, we sold 2 books a day for 23 days.
Yes.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And with this combined with the zero manufacturing we talked about,
Hmm.
we were able to create something that would have costed thousands and tens of thousands of dollars just a few years ago.
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful? And it was happened because of amplification of the internet.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that happens for us on Pegasus Radio is we get thousands of listens. And because it gets amplified onto Apple, it gets amplified across different platforms. And oh, wait, it's ground through more than 13, 15 years.
Yes.
So we're in that essence. So getting people in, 1,000 true friends, people to do it. And one of the things you need them to do is to share your content out there.
Yes.
Nothing will do more good for your brand and social media than have people share your content.
Hmm.
So that's a quality game. The quantity of content times the quality of the production equals your attention.
Yes.
People ask me all the time, how much should we be putting out? I'm of the very Gary Vee school, 5, 10, 15 pieces a day of content.
Hmm.
You know, that's what a limit is not the worst thing across all platforms. If you can do it, 50 pieces of content.
Hmm.
Now we don't do that.
No.
No. I do think we get out 3, 4, 5 a day.
Yeah, I think so, at least.
Yeah,
Sometimes more.
always happy with more. And so this is how we get that attention, and we grind through it, and we want to thank everybody who comes night after night
Hmm.
and help us build these things. But that's what you really need to do is get your team of amplifiers, people that love you enough to share you. That's your first real goal in expanding your reach.
Yes, indeed.
So, anything else, Don?
Well, again, it's like any other kind of energy. The more
Hmm.
people involved, the more there's going to be.
I do recognize tomorrow we'll have what is it? We're gonna do a divination or tarot Thursday
Yes,
again, and Friday's UFO. We'll have lots of people back in our chat room. But I know this conversation about how we raise more money, how do we build more money, how we try to develop an economy is not the most exciting subject. We can see it from our numbers
yes.
and we can see it from our chat room.
Hmm.
But we do need you to all go out there and amplify the message for it. If you like one of our episodes, please share it. If you're
Yes,
out there live, you know how you can attract more traffic to your own site, your own Facebook page? Sharing us directly onto your Facebook page.
yes, indeed.
If you while we're live, people can come by and watch it. You can even run it in your own thing. There's lots of tricks of the trade to amplify, and we'll talk more about it. But with that, I think we're going to drop to the hour. So, Don, why don't you go ahead and give us a prayer?
Very good. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we come to you this night with thanks for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to help us to expand our prosperity, to expand our connections in the world, and to magnify one another's energies, so that that which is good can grow. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, with love and with respect, we thank you, and may you blessed be. And may you blessed be until next time.